Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Manning Field for Northeastern Conference Girls Soccer Link Classical, taking on Malden. Malden's one of those teams that came over from the GBL League. Malden, Medford, Somerville, Everett. This is their second year in with all sports, males and female, with the exception of Everett football, which may be coming in next year. Something's got to give here. Both teams are 4-2. Anna Flaherty in net for Classical. Audrey Carlton for Malden. Malden in the white, Classical in their ever-present green and gold. Kind of a blustery day. It slowed down a little bit. There was a heavy breeze blowing earlier. Jordan kicks it deep, coming down the middle, trying to knock it deep to Gertie. It got broken up. Malden will take it back the other way. They pushed a little too far. Classical tipped it, taken away. Down the far side, Classical gets by, keeping it in, trying to throw it in front. Malden got a piece of it and knocked it away. And they collect on the far side and push it back upfield. It goes out into the Classical bench area. Classical will get the throw in. Headed by Classical, knocked away by Malden. And they try to knock it deep, they knocked it out. Classical hustles, back checking, and takes it away. Jordan tips it ahead. And Classical, again, back checking, takes it away. Pass gets through to the near side, but you have to wait and come and get it. And Klaus is going to kick it upfield. It's going to go too far. Genevieve Murphy with the throw in. And looked like, I think it was Page got a hand on the ball. It's going to give Malden a free kick. Salma Bazat, she's one of the captains for Malden from the 20-yard line. And Malden got what they wanted out in front. They got a foot on it, but they pushed it wide right and out of play. Bazat got it out in front of the net. And Malden couldn't get it to the net. Flaherty will kick it away. And Beatrix de Oliveira Segato, who got the foot on the ball but couldn't get it to the net. Pass behind the intended receiver. Mannion was looking for it. There would be tricks in between. I'll get it. No, you get it. Nobody got it. Now Classical finally gets it. Coming down. Trying to knock it in. Malden knocks it away. They banged it off a Classical player. Classical gets it back. Pulling it to the net. Knocked down by Carlton. And she pushed it right by Gertie, who ran right by her looking to get ahead on the ball, but she couldn't. Carlton took a step ahead of Gertie and was able to knock it down and scoop up the rebound quickly. Haskell trying to knock it deep. They let it go through, And once again, Carlton comes out and grabs it with Gertier, and I think that might have been Iorati all over her. Bounces all the way back to Kebrew. Malden winds up with it, knocks it back to their own end. Off of Klasko's head into the Malden bench area. Still a bit of a breeze, but nothing like it was when it started with St. Mary's. Klasko took it away, Malden got it back. Klasko took it away. Down the near side. Malden will kick it out. Page will take the throw in. But we'll have a substitution first. I thought we would. They blew the whistle. Bouncing loose. Knocked to the middle. Popped up to the far side. Klasko knocks it to the net. Couldn't get a lot on it. Carlton will come out and field it. And boot it away with the left foot. Off Mannion's head. They knock it to the near side. Forestier knocked it to the middle. They knock it deep. Forestier gets it back. Trying to walk in. Throws it in front. They missed the net. They threw it out in front. Flaherty was out of the net trying to make a save. It rolled across. And there was contact between the defender and the Malden player at the same time, and the ball went wide. What a big break for Klasko. Looked like the Malden player was there to knock it home, and she got bumped, and just as she got bumped, it went off the side of her foot and went wide. That was Forestier with the nice rush. Throwing it out in front. Almost got Malden a goal. Malden right back. Knock it down the far side. And they couldn't keep it in. It went out. Klasko will get the throw in. Knocked out by Klasko. Kebrew knocks it down and just got to the rebound before Malden did out in front. Malden keeps it in. Jordan tips it by. It gets tipped again. Jordan coming down the near side. Gets around one. Can't get around the second one. That's Murphy. She throws it deep. Forestier is there tracking it down. Yeah, it went out off Klasko. Tipping it. Klasko will let it go out. I think they were looking for a little give and go, but the give was there, but the go by the player down low, Forestier, she stayed in the corner. A little better weather than we had yesterday playing here with the Tech boys. It was pouring out. Before the game, at the start of the game, during the game, halftime. And finally, that ball bounced up and got her in the hand. Finally, 2 minutes into the second half, the official said, that's enough. One of the Tech players hurt his ankle. And for safety purposes, they said, that's enough. and they stop the game. And Mystic Valley gets a 1-0 win. Off Mannion's head, back towards the Classical goal. Keeper was there to knock it away. Headed to the near side. Jordan with it. Knocked away. And now Flaherty will kick it away. Bounces by. Classical took it away. Malden takes it back. Pass behind the intended receiver. Malden picks off the clearing pass. Gets bumped from behind and knocked down, and they're going to call it on Classical. And Malden will get a free kick from about the 35-yard line. Darcy Cummings will take the kick from the 35-yard line as we're 10 minutes in to the scoreless first half. She tipped it back. Classical picks it off. Malden gets around one. Down the far side. Looking to throw it in front. Flaherty comes out and dives and scoops it up right in front of a white shirt, looking to get a piece of it. And it gets booted upfield. McGaughy with it. Izzy takes it down the near side. Throws it to the middle. They throw it in front. They couldn't get the shot off. Nice pass. They threw it across. They had everything going perfect. And the goaltender, Carlton, just came out and picked it. Classical with an easy goal. Nice passing there. Malden knocks it deep. They knock it too deep. It's going to go right to the Malden coach, and that's Rick Casita. Mark Iorati is the head guy for Classical, ably assisted by Brother Greg and Kelly Lombard. Keeper was there, got blocked by Malden, looking for a break, looking to walk in. Gets around, looking for the shot, and they score. It got blocked, she had a breakaway, and she knocked it under the top crossbar inside the near post. Very nice shot. That was Beatriz de Oliveira Segato. Classical tried to knock it deep. They knocked it right in to de Oliveira Segato. She picked it up, tried to go down the far side, had to cut it to the middle. When she got to the middle around the 10-yard line, drilled it just inside the near post under the top crossbar. Very nice shot. And Malden grabs a 1-0 lead. Now they try to do it again. It's blocked again. And it went out. Malden's going to get a corner kick. So Classical almost gave it away again. They gave that last one away. Coming from the far side, everybody away from the net, but they'll break very quickly to the net. there they go. Headed away by Mannion. And I have to say Kathleen Mannion because there's two of them. Haskell knocks it deep. Malden will let it go out of play. Kebrew playing deep, knocks it behind the Malden bench area. Haskell knocked it too far ahead. Malden's defense knocks it back. They bang it off. Malden out of play. He knocked it deep. Malden's going to get there, I think. Couldn't keep it in. Didn't miss by much keeping that in. That causes a couple of passes they almost be able to get a shot up, but they haven't really put anything on Carlton in net. Haven't really tested her. Flaherty has been alert on a couple of opportunities for Malden. It goes out off Malden. Klasko knocks it back the other way. They knock it to the near side. Klasko got crushed and knocked down. McGaughy's still with it. Trying to get it out in front. Loose. Malden will finally clear it out of trouble. McGaughy kept it alive. Along with Blevins. Klasko trying to walk in. Out in front. Blevins sitting right in the lap of Carlton, and Carlton took a step and grabbed it before Blevins could get a foot on it. Good bid by Klasko that time, but they couldn't bang it home. Carlton took it away. Pedro knocked it loose. And it gets knocked out off Malden. McGaughy wins the battle and then gets it back again, throwing it out in front. Blevins tipped it out in front. And Klasko again, right in the lap of Carlton. That was Mackenzie Shea, I think, trying to knock it by. Classical keeps it alive. And now Malden didn't knock it out. Classical kept it in play. Malden trying to knock it deep. Classical player went down. Get hit on the play. They're going to give Classical a free kick. Not quite a corner kick. It's going to come right on the goal line from a very tough angle. Similar to a corner kick, but not as big an angle. Out in front a little bit. They move that picket fence back. They get it up. That was in the net. Darcy Cummings went up in the air and knocked that out. That was in the net. So he got it by the goaltender, but they couldn't get it by Darcy. Classical with the throw-in. Loose. Taken away. Malden knocks it deep the other way. Classical blocks it. Classical trying to keep it alive. They knock it out. Classical's kept the pressure on here, keeping it in the Malden end, but it hasn't resulted in the tying goal. Malden was looking to let it go, but it wasn't going to go. It was going to stay in, so they have to play it. Tipped. Classical trying to head it away. Malden knocks it deep. Hebrew fanned on it, trying to knock it deep. They had two players open, but they didn't give the pass. They waited too long. They could have had a breakaway. Hebrew swung and missed on it. She was out of the play. And they had two white shirts out in front. And they didn't get there. Carlton comes way out of the net to grab that one. Bouncing all the way back to Hebrew. Still bouncing. Very difficult to control. And it went out of play. Bouncing on this turf. They throw it out off Malden. Hebrew just couldn't get control. It kept bouncing up almost head high. And it kept bouncing around. Tipped by Malden. Knocked out by Malden. Popped up. Badly going on. Nobody really getting control of it. Tipped by Classical. Finally knocked deep. Malden knocks it the other way. Deflected. Now Malden coming up the near side. Trying to throw it out in front. Classical will let it go out of play. Off to the right side. We mentioned both teams are 4-2. The winner obviously will go 5-2, and in the first 7 games we'll be halfway to a tournament berth. 10 wins or 20 points, figuring in ties, will get you in the tournament. Nice little shift. They throw it upfield. Flaherty has to come out of the net and go get it. Now it's Malden's turn to keep it in the classical end. Although they lost it out of play, classical will get the throw in. Pop back in the classical end. Trying to throw it in front. Sliding, trying to make a play. Malden, if they let it go out, it might have been off classical, but they slid, kicked it, and knocked it out. Classical will get the kick. Flaherty will take it. And we get a substitution for Malden. Gertie kind of kicked that right up into her face. Gets knocked away. Malden just popped it up. Classical knocks it ahead. McGaughey got squashed between a couple of defenders. Popped up. McGaughey got a piece of it. Keeps it alive. Knocks it ahead. Looking for Jordan. Out in front. And Classical got kicked. And the Classical player is down. They reached around to kick the ball, and they wound up kicking the Classical player. And she's down in a heap. Let's hope she's going to be okay. Training coming out to check on her and make sure she's okay. 13:28 left in this first half. Malden leading it 1-0. Free kick from the 30-yard line. Goes all the way through. One big hop, and Carlton handled that easily. It was Molly Mannion going out. I didn't realize until tonight. It's a family affair at Classical. Kebro tips it back to Flaherty. She knocked it off a Malden player. You wonder why Mike Iorati has gray hair? Kebro just nonchalantly punched that back to Flaherty. She looked to kick it upfield, and she kicked it off a Malden player, and luckily it didn't go in the net. It went wide of the net. But it's a family affair for them. Molly Mannion and Kathleen Mannion are sisters. Mary Collins and Kira Collins are sisters. And they're cousins. So a huge family. And I'm glad they finally come up, and you want to make sure you do this correct. I always say, I'll say it two ways. Hopefully I say it correctly the first time, but I was pronouncing Ciara Collins' name the way it was written, and I found out today they pronounce it differently. It's Kira. So it will be Kira Collins from now on. Skips all the way past. And Pedro is going to let it go. So Flaherty will get to kick it away. Classical fanned on it, trying to get it past Cummings. Now they knock it deep, and it's going to be too deep. It's going to go out again. We'll have substitutions for Classical. Malden leading it 1-0. Classical kind of gave it away. They were looking to kick the ball deep. They knocked it off De Oliveira Segato, and she picked up the loose ball, walked down the far side, cut to the middle, and got a good hard shot under the top crossbar inside the near post. Flaherty had no chance. It was way over her head. That's like, I always talk about the Grand Canyon for the net. It was a perfectly placed shot by Beatriz De Oliveira Segato to get Malden on the board. Pedro rips it, Kebrew rips it, and pulls it out of play upfield. Rachel Brennan couldn't track it down. Murphy with the throw-in. And Klausel knocks it out again. Malden trying to keep it in. It's been down this end quite a bit. Pedro trying to tip it ahead. Malden picks it off. And Klosko knocks it out. Klosko really hasn't had any tough shots on net. They've had balls go to the net where the goalie come out, kind of dove on it, and they were half a step or a step late getting there to tip it by her. So they haven't really tested Carlton. And Malden really hasn't tested Flaherty either, except that one shot that went in. Although Klasko almost gave another one away. Knocked out by Mannion. He had a good setup, but the pass went over the foot of the intended receiver, dead center. Would have had a decent shot. Mackenzie Shea bringing it up. Klasko finally gets it in the Malden end. Hasn't been there for a while. And Malden takes it right back the other way. Down the far side. Malden with a rush. They were looking at the shot off, and Klasko called up and wouldn't let him get the shot off. Now they center it. Loose. And he almost knocked it in again. It got by everybody. It was going to the net. Pedro was going to knock it away. She knocked it off the near post. And luckily for Klasko, it didn't. It was the outside part of the post and deflected away rather than the inside part knocking it in. That's twice that Klasko has almost put the ball in their own net. She made a great play coming to save the ball that looked like it was going to maybe bounce and maybe go in. And when she knocked it away, she knocked it off the near post. But it bounced out rather than in. Glasgow has virtually given one away. They've almost given away a couple of others. They knock it deep. McGaughy can't get there. It goes out of play. Murphy will throw it in. Pedro missed it. Flaherty coming out and just grabbed it. Pedro swung and missed. It got by her. Flaherty, good heads up by the ninth grader, coming out quickly and grabbing that one. Down the far side, Glasgow had it taken away, got it back. And then it went into the Glasgow bench here, and they're calling it off Glasgow. 5 minutes and counting left in this first half, 1-0 Malden. They knock it deep. Forrest here. Down the near side. Malden trying to throw it in front. Blocked. Glasgow gets it back. Malden takes it away. Glasgow knocks it out. Pop to the middle. Big bounce. I think they're going to get Glasgow for contact, and that's going to give Malden Catholic a very good scoring opportunity from inside the 10-yard line. Was it inside the box? They're not calling it a penalty kick. Thank for that. The free kick is going to come from right about the 10-yard line. They've got to get over that picket fence and under the top crossbar. Everybody milling around. It got tipped wide. And they're calling it off Glasgow. Glasgow got a piece of it setting up that picket fence, and they tipped it wide left. Malden will get a corner kick. Coming from the far side. Everybody's staying away from the net for now, but they're all going to go to the net momentarily. They all break. Malden got a piece of it, headed away by Glasgow. Malden keeping it in. From long range, nice shot. Flaherty makes the save. Salma Bazat with the shot. Final 2 minutes and counting. Glasgow knocks it away. Murphy trying to throw it in. Blocked by Mannion. Blocked by Mannion again. They tip it up in the middle. Glasgow doesn't let him set it up. Shot from long range goes up high over everything, out of play. Substitutions for Glasgow. Time winding down in this first half. Malden leading it 1-0. Classical's just having a lot of trouble getting going. Malden's just buried the ball in their end of the field more often than not. Classical had early going. They had a couple of opportunities that Carlton come out of the net, just got there before a Classical player. But the second half of this first half has been virtually in the Classical end. Murphy knocks it back there again. Waiting for a break. Trying to walk in. Got hustled by, I think it was Pedro that hustled back and broke it up. They blow the whistle. So that goal on the, when a clearing pass, they knocked it right into Beatrice de Oliveira Segato. She walked in and buried it. So Classical gave one away, and that's the difference. Classical trailing Malden 1-0 at halftime. We're underway in the second half. Malden leading it 1-0 on a pretty goal by Beatrice de Oliveira Segato. Malden dominated on the scoreboard, and they have dominated on possession and territorial-wise. Classical now has the wind at their back. Let's see if it helps them. Pedro trying to knock it deep, and they do knock it deep. Blevins with a header, but Malden picks it off. They bang it off. Blevins. They knock it deep. Mannion knocks it back the other way. Malden coming down the near side. Foot race, and they couldn't keep it in. Went out off Batul Chuiki. And it got knocked out, and I believe it went off Kira Collins. Yeah, Shuiki, I'm not sure obviously she's from one of those countries that you wear the heads, covering the head. She's got like a scarf or whatever it is over her head. I know they have to do that in India. I don't know anyplace else. Now we got a whistle for a takedown. I think it's going to go against Classical. I think they call it on Pedro, taking Chuiki down. And they're going to give her a penalty shot, I believe. It was Malden's going to get a penalty shot. It happened inside the 5-yard line, inside the box. So Flaherty under the gun. And he knocked it over the net. A huge break for the Lady Rams. The only thing a goaltender can do in that situation is guess. Is she going to go right? Is she going to go left? And you move in that direction. And that was a little too much foot, and she knocked it up over everything. And that was Jill Tremendozzi, one of the 4 seniors that Malden has, and one of their captains. And she got a lot of foot in it, drilled it hard, and got under it too much and lifted it up over the net. So big sigh of relief on the Classical sideline. Gertie are broken up. And Malden knocks it out. Kept in by the Lady Rams. They bang it off. Kira Collins gets it to the middle, broken up, trying to keep it in. Pedro broke it up. Pedro gets leveled. She got run over by Angela Tejada Solis. And Pedro will take the kick. Kick it towards the net. Carlton will come out. Blevins was looking to go get it, but she had to stay on side, so she didn't come close to getting it before Carlton grabbed it. Jordan trying to keep it in. Jordan lets it go out of play. Glasgow will get the throw in. Tipped up. Knocked away by Malden. Knocked deep by Malden. Kebrew knocks it back the other way. Mannion's going to get called for running over. She ran over Forrest there. Malden with the free kick. Out off Classical. And out off Classical again. Gertie took it away. Gets it back. And if she could have got her foot on it and tipped it, Blevins was going right up the middle by herself. But Malden got a foot on it and knocked it away. Classical's been like a step and a half away from possibly getting on the board and getting a couple on the board. Out off Classical. Mannion breaks it up. Classical trying to knock it deep. Looking for a break. They tipped it too far ahead. It gets deflected back towards the net. Classical almost got a break. Page picked it off. Deflected. And they're calling it off Classical. They knock it to the middle, trying to get there. Couldn't get a lot on it. I think it was Iarati. Got to it, had to stretch a little bit to try and tip it to the net. Couldn't get it all on it. Got it to the net, but an easy save for Carlton. That's one of the few times they got a shot on net. And it goes out off Classical. Out off Classical again. Malden breaks it up and takes it away. Blocked up by Pedro. Pedro trying to get a head on it. She got run in. She got banged in the head. They didn't blow the whistle. Chiwiki ran right into Pedro and they banged heads and they didn't call anything. Pedro just stopped and held her head. Thank goodness that wasn't anything serious. With all the concussions going around. Out off Malden. Pedro will take the throw in. Out off Bonnet. Tipped up. Glasgow trying to get a foot on it. Malden knocks it away. Glasgow keeping it in the Malden end. Trying to get a foot on it. Bouncing up. Slipped away. Glasgow knocks it to the far side. He'll keep it in play. Still in play. Malden knocked it loose, and they finally knock it out. Class will get the throw in down deep. Headed away. Malden knocks it deep. Goes all the way back to Kebro, the deep center field. She waited a long time. Malden almost blocked it. Now they're looking for a break. Kebro has to try and catch up. Kebro waited a long time. And now Kebro, I think, is going to get called for the knockdown. She waited a long time. Instead of going to get it, she waited a long time for that ball to come to her. And it almost resulted in a breakaway for Malden. And then it was Chiwiki almost getting loose. Kebro caught up, but Kebro knocked her down. And Malden's going to get a free kick. From about the 15-yard line. Now everybody breaks to the net. It winds up out in front. Cummings couldn't get a crack at it. They knock it deep. It's blocked. Blocked again. Iarati working hard to get it upfield. But Carlton comes out and takes it away. Good effort by Abigail Iarati. Now we got a whistle. Contact against Malden. Classwell's going to get a free kick. Just outside the 35-yard line. Malden knocks it away. Chiwiki bangs it ahead. Broken up by Mannion. Chiwiki trying to knock it deep. It's going to bounce and go out of play. Pedro with the throw-in. It bounced off a couple of green and gold shirts and goes out of play. Substitutions for Malden. That was another one. Pedro, you got it. Page, you got it. Neither one of them got it. And it bounced right between the two of them, and they were letting it go. And luckily, Malden knocked it out. They almost had another break. Neither one could decide who was going to pick the ball up. Hebrew knocks it deep. Haskell collects. They knock it deep. Cummings is back there to protect. It goes all the way through to Carlton, and she'll kick it away. I'm not sure what the whistle was for. I didn't see anybody touch the ball, but they're going to give Classical a free kick. Hebrew will take it. Off a Classical player. Malden will pop it high in the air and out into the far corner, out of play. Classical will get the throw in. Classical got a foot on it, but knocked it out of play. Cummings will kick it away. Classical keeps it in, pops it up, bouncing around, pops straight up in the air. Mannion got a piece of it. Pops straight up in the air again. Malden will knock it away. Classical keeps it in. Pedro hustling back. Slipping, sliding, and finally gets a foot on it, knocks it out. She couldn't, almost looked like she was losing her balance. She finally reached out with her foot and knocked it out of play. And Bonnet will put it in play. With a rush, they knock it deep. Malden's going to let it go out of play. Substitutions for Classical and Malden. Still 1-0 Malden. Classical gave one away in the first half. They almost gave away two more. Kept in, but Malden knocks it away. Popped high in the air. Big bounce. And we're going to get a call against Classical. The ball bounced up. They were going to go and try and get a header on it. They're trying to lean with two hands on the Malden player, and they called the contact. Now it bounces up and got a piece of the Classical hand. I think it was Mackenzie Shea. And Malden will get another free kick. Cummings trying to knock it deep. Slices it way off to the right, almost into the classical bench area. And now it gets knocked in the classical bench area by Malden. Classical working hard to try and get the equalizer, but can't get a real good shot on net. Gerdia tipped it. Fighting to get it back. Murphy knocks it ahead. Hebrew knocked it loose. Malden knocked it off one of their own players. Classical player goes down. They're going to get Bazat for knocking. I think it was Brennan that got knocked down. Now they're going to call it on Brennan. Brennan was the one that went down. And they call it on her. Malden's going to get a free kick from right around the 30-yard line. That was kind of strange. Bazat will take it. Looked like Bazat knocked Brennan down. They call Brennan. She drills it to the net. Might have gone wide left. May have been right inside that near post. Flaherty made sure, went out and got it. Now bodies go down. Let's see who they call it on. Both of them went down. Now that I don't understand. They gave Iarati, I believe, a yellow card, and I don't know why. That wasn't a case of pushing, shoving, banging. It was both players going for the ball. Both players went down inadvertently, and they picked Iarati, and the official that made the call was on the other side of the field. So I don't understand that call. I can understand he might have said, Iarati might have been the cause, or she hit her first, but I don't understand the yellow card. It wasn't like she deliberately reached out with her foot, took her down, or pushed her down with two hands. Malden knocks it deep. Hebrew gets there to knock it away from Bazat and knocks it out. Malden will get the throw in. Trying to throw it in front, they popped it up. It bounced over everybody. Kira Collins knocked it loose. McGaughey knocked it deep. Malden man, trying to go get it. Malden will get the throw in. And they're going to call Susan DeLeon pays for a little two-handed shove. That was more of a problem than Iarati battling with the other player, both of them going down. Iarati got a yellow card. And now they're going to call this one on Malden. Pedro will take the kick. It skips through. Classical couldn't get the foot on it. Bonnet got there first. It was bouncing too high. They couldn't get the foot on it. And when they were just kind of lining it up, Bonnet stuck her foot in and knocked it away. Classical will get a corner kick. Pedro will take it from the near side. That looked like Classical might have a good opportunity Bonnet took it away. Right dead center of the net. And I think she caught it inside the net. She was over the line. The goalie is saying she caught the ball in play. The official is saying you caught it and you took the ball, you were in play, but you carried the ball over the net and Pedro's going to get the goal. So the goalie made the save. When she caught it, she was standing dead center of the net, and when she leaned back, she was out in front of the net, but she, as the official was just making reference to, she put the ball back and the ball crossed the line. It's the ball that counts. So Pedro gets credit for the goal. Classical will tie it up. We've got just under 16 minutes left. Classical has come back to tie it. It's Classical 1, Malden 1 with the timeout down in the field. So Classical couldn't get a break. They couldn't get a shot on net. They kept trying to get the ball. The ball was loose. The goalie would come out and get a step ahead of them, and they finally get a break. Pedro, perfect shot, put it right dead center of the net. And the goalie, Carlton, spoke to the official afterwards and said, I was out in front. I wasn't in the net. And you could see the official showing her that she was out in front, but she leaned back with the ball, and the ball broke the plane. And that's what gives you the goal, the ball crossing the plane. It doesn't have to be the goaltender crossing the plane, as long as the ball crosses that line. So a big break for Classical gets him 1-1 back in the game with 15 minutes left. Malden hasn't done much in the second half, going against the wind. Same thing with Classical in the first half. Classical knocks it away. They knock it to the far side. Tipped away and picked off by Classical. They knock it to the middle, trying to knock it back. They collect. Classical knocks it deep. Carlton will come out almost to the 10-yard line and play that one, and she'll kick it away. High shot kick. Didn't get much on it. You can see that ball go up. See the wind. The wind is so strong. You get it up, and it's blown right back to the net. And they're going to knock the Classical player down. The Oliveira Sagado was a little upset. She made a couple of moves, got by, and tried to make another move. And when she got broken up, she took a little exception to it and kind of reacted and knocked the player down. And the Classical player is down right in front of us. Just under 14 minutes left in the game, 1-1 the score. I'm trying to read the numbers. I think that's Paige going out. She's gingerly walking out under her own steam, so let's hope she's going to be okay. Classical will get the free kick. Pedro, who has the goal, will kick it away. I don't think she can put it in the net from here. Malden knocked it out. Pedro will take the throw-in. Oscar will try and knock it deep, and he knocked it too deep. Malden will kick it away. You got to kick line drives. You get up in the air, it's going right back to your net. Yeah, it just holds up almost like it's a parachute. They knock it back deep. Murphy back there with it. Knocks it ahead and knocks it out. Pedro again with the throw in. They knock it deep. Kebrew comes over and they knock it off Malden. Nice play by Kebrew. She knocked it off Chuiki. They knock it deep, and nobody's going to get there before it goes out of play. I thought I remembered Chuiki from last year, but then I thought maybe not. But now that I noticed that there's two of them, one of them is not playing tonight. I don't know if there's a problem, injury or whatever, but and it must be twins because they're both juniors. And I remember them from last year with the headdress. Haskell trying to keep it in. Malden knocks it out. Murphy doing the honors. Haskell with the throw in. Loose, still loose. Everybody trying to get a foot on it. They pop it up. Malden can't clear it. Still loose. They finally carry it out, Malden does. They knock it deep. Kebrew tipped it away. Tipped it away again. But Chuiki winds up with the ball and throws it cross field. It's going to go out of play. The wind kind of picked it up. She off the side of her foot. She was at the 45-yard line. She chipped it over the far side and hooked back and went out at midfield. So she lost 5 yards on the play. Tip to the middle. Classical gets there first. Keeps it in. Pass picked off. Off the side of the foot. Chuiki knocks it to the far side. Classical takes it away. Get to Jordan on the near side. Bounces by her. Aristil was mad at herself. She was trying to make a little pirouette, a little shake and bake, and did it one too many times and lost it out of bounds. Knocked out off Murphy. And we'll have a substitution for Classical. Haskell got knocked down on the play. They'll get a free kick. Pedro will take it again. From the 35-yard line, from a little bit of an angle, tough angle. Ball kind of floats away on her. Knocks it right to the net. I think Classical was offside. The goaltender came out. Classical wound up behind the goaltender. It almost looked like they had a shot. I think it was Iorati that was bearing down, Goaltender had it, bobbled it, but then they called Classical for being offside. Bodies go down, tipped away. Knocked away from Mackenzie Shea, I believe. Into the Classical bench area. Classical will get the throw in. And it bounced out. And when it bounced up, it got Malden in the hand. Classical will get a free kick. Keebrew will take it from about the 45. It's been more Classical keeping it in this end now, looking for a break. They take the shot, big time save by Carlton. From a little bit of an angle, it bounced loose. Classical had a shot, and he knocked it right into the goaltender. That was Rachel Brennan, I believe, with the shot. But Classical has dominated territorial-wise this half like Malden did in the first half. Now it gets knocked out by Classical. Flaherty could have almost bought a ticket for the second half. Classical knocks the Malden player down. Mannion ran right over Chewicki. Blocked, knocked away. Malden trying to go very quickly with not kick it deep, just kick it short, trying to set up a play. Classical was ready, and now Malden knocks it out. Out off Malden again. Classical breaks it up and takes it away. They try to throw it to the middle. It got tipped by Malden. Classical's going to get another corner kick. The last corner kick, Pedro wound up scoring a goal. Malden broke it up. They tried to play it out of the corner with two players over there. Malden came over and played it man to man and didn't let them get around and knocked it out. Four and a half and counting in this 1-1 game. Knocked out by Malden. We said something at the beginning. We said something had to give with both teams 4-2, but now not necessarily, because both teams 4-2. They could come out of here both teams 4-2-1. And it got touched by Classical. Malden will get the free kick. Classical breaks it up, knocks it into the Classical bench area. And they threw it in, and it went out. So Classical will get the throw in. So a tale of two halves. Malden scored in the first half on really a takeaway. Classical was trying to knock the ball deep upfield, and almost point-blank range, they blasted it right into Beatrice D'Olivera Segato. It deflected behind everybody. D'Olivera Segato went and got it. Started down the far side, broke it to the middle, and a good hard shot beat Flaherty. Very good goal. Made it 1-0. And they were virtually in control the entire first half, territorial-wise. Classical has had the ball in the Malden end most of the second half. Now, somebody touched it. Malden's going to get another kick. And Classical's had it almost a couple of times. They finally scored on a corner kick by Pedro when the goaltender made the save, but carried the ball. She was out in front of the net, but the ball was in the net. McGaughey kept it in. They knock it deep. Malden keeps it in. First time they've really been this deep with the ball. Classical knocks it away. Pops straight up in the air. Knocked away by Iorati. Classical takes it away. And they knock it out. Final 2 minutes and counting. Malden 1, Classical 1. And now it goes out off Malden. They missed the header. Malden keeps it in. They throw it to the middle, trying to line up a shot. They didn't take it. They try to set up a better shot. Now they pop it wide right. They had an opportunity to get a shot on net, and they opted to try and pass it a little closer, and they wound up chipping it wide right and out of play. Malden now putting the pressure on, keeping it in the Classical end as it goes out off Kebrew. Murphy will take the throw in. Time winding down here in this one. They knock it deep. Iorati is there. Couldn't keep it in. It went out first. And they're going to get Kira Collins for running over the Malden player. Cummings will get to kick it away. Pedro got a piece of it. She knocks it deep. Gets by Cummings. And they blow the whistle, and that's going to be it. So it was Classical trying to clear the ball downfield. They banged it right off Beatrice de Oliveira Segato. It deflected by everybody. She walked in, down the far side, cut it to the middle, got a good hard shot off, beat Flaherty under the top crossbar inside the near post, and it was 1-0 Malden as they dominated territorial-wise the first half. Classical did it in the second half, and they finally got the equalizer. Pedro had a corner kick from the near side. She put it right in the middle of the net. Audrey Carlton, the goaltender, caught it, made the save, but when she made the save, she moved the ball behind her and the ball crossed the line. And the ball crossing the line gives Pedro the goal and gives Classical a 1-1 tie. So Classical 1, Malden 1. Classical will go to 4-2-1. Malden will go to 4-2-1. Both teams played exceptionally well. And time of possession, first half Malden, second half Classical, but they wind up just as they started the game, dead even. Classical 1, Malden 1. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.